Welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Come on. I'm having one of those really irritating days. So, we're gonna do a collective convo. Really quick, I want to talk about like negative self-talk and how to rewire your brain and get out of those patterns. I have notes. Okay. Um, so a few things. First, the most important thing, like anything that we need to hit head on or confront within ourselves or within our healing, is to be honest about this practice. And noticing it when it happens and acknowledging it in the moment when it's happening. The important thing about that, so let me give you examples. I'm so fat. Oh my god, nobody likes me. Ugh, I can't do it. I can't do anything. I don't know. Whatever those voices are to you, that likely came from someone else outside of you initially, but it just maybe reinforced your own belief of yourself, and caused more of that self-talk. Um, Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know exactly how it happened for you, but part of the process of undoing it is to kind of figure out where that came from, right? Um, like, I've always been like, I've struggled with an eating disorder. I felt embarrassed about stupid shit, and I realized a lot of that was because of the way that my mom and my sister treated me, like my whole life. They tried to encourage that, right? Um, I look back at pictures because I had like such a bad eating disorder and forever from like 12 until I don't know. I became a mom. I don't really give a fuck anymore. Um, but for a majority of my life, I struggled with eating habits or lack thereof. And I look back at pictures and like my body was tea. Okay. I don't know why I had all that self doubt. I mean, I grew up in the early 2000s. Well, I was in high school in the early 2000s, which was a very eating disorder climate, and it appears at this point in time that things are going back there, with like the celebrities, and the way that people are like losing weight really crazy right now. I'm gonna stay thick and hold my ground. But anyway, that's some examples. I think that weight or aesthetics, right? Oh, I don't like my nose. Oh, my hair is ugly. Oh, God, this doesn't look good on me. I got rid of all full length mirrors, so I don't even know what I look like anymore, nor do I care. But motherhood changes you. Anyway, for those of you who aren't mothers or have never struggled with eating disorders or weight images, I think that's a pretty common thing that both men and women go through. Um, but it's just an example. Negative self talk can also be, around work or around things that, obligations or things that you have to do or relationships with people. So, whatever it is for you, there's no right or wrong for negative self talk. I think, again, whatever it is, whenever you notice. Oh my god. I get so frustrated at little things. Like, I would prefer. No, I don't want to put that out. But anyway, little shit drives me fucking crazy. Anyway, so self talk or self narration, right? So someone, I think it can be really hard when we are surrounded by people who also don't like themselves or have those same narratives in their own brain, because people have a tendency, misery loves company, and people like to project how they feel about themselves on other people. And so, all of that results in, think of it as like we're all filters, right? Like a water filter. So like anything someone says to you, like, oh wow, this is a really cool analogy. I've never gotten something like this. So like you're a water filter and someone says something to you, and uh the color of that message could be like tar black, meaning heavy with projection or made you have feelings, or it could just be like a wispy, like breeze kind of language. Either way, us as the filter, how we respond to people, and this goes for ourselves as well, and what we're thinking in our head. But most of our negative self talk comes from external spaces. Again, whether it's, Hollywood or mass media or pop culture, or people you found on TikTok, or friends and family, siblings. Siblings are the worst. Partners, whatever it is. Regardless, usually it's like a seed that was planted by someone spewing some stupid shit that made us feel insecure about something, right? So this goes into imposter syndrome, and it chips away at our self-confidence and whatnot. So if we picture ourselves as this filter for water, and we can recognize when people are saying things that really have nothing to do with us, right? That's going to make our job as the filter for that information a lot easier, to not allow it to impact us at an emotional, mental level. So how we do that, I don't know if that was a good enough analogy. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So, like, okay, there's a meme that I'm thinking of that has a flower pot, but it's like your brain, and so it's like your brain is like, it can grow beautiful flowers, or it can be like, a cactus, right? So think of yourself standing somewhere. I'm getting like a tiled room. That's weird. And someone is like shorten yourself, like I'm losing the plot. This is you, and this is what people have said to you, and how it's useful or not useful. I think I'm gonna stop. I really like that though. I'm like, my art brain is like, how can I turn this into a piece of art, is what I'm thinking right now. But like, as people say, like, you're stupid, or that, shouldn't you be embarrassed? My mom said that to me once. I will never forget the things my mother said to me out of malice, ever. I will never forget. And she hardly remembers. And so that's the other thing. When people project onto you, there's like this involuntary, like, acceptance of their bullshit. And so a lot of this happens subconsciously until the next time you're trying to make a decision and your confidence is whacked, right? The next time you're trying to do something and you're like, why am I being so mean to myself, So again, recognizing how it happens, where it's coming from, are the two most important things, which is why I just spent so long breaking that down. Now, the most important thing in this is, once you notice it, because we're reprogramming our brain. I've done this, and I did it with daily affirmations. I did it with a lot of spiritual support from other readers and other, like, spiritual people to help me instill. And then I also got into magic in my own way, which was, using nature for healing properties in different means, like crystals and teas and weed. Weed is always my favorite medicine. Water, relying on the 4 elements. So when we're reprogramming our brain, it's important to remember that we ourselves are also a part of nature. And like, you wouldn't talk to like a cat or a dog the way that we talk to ourselves a lot of the times. Also, so these are some things. When you notice it, okay, then try to like take a step back, not physically or literally, but within your head. I like to envision my brain as like a camera lens, where I can like zoom in on some things and zoom out, right? So when you start to notice your negative self-talk, and it can be really quick, right? Like, God, you're so fat, right? Or like, we make jokes about ourselves and shit. When you do that, stop and zoom out with your camera lens, right? Like, why did I just say that about myself? And just do like a little bit of a psychoanalyzing. It doesn't need to be, you don't have to like cure the whole world with trying to figure out why you said that about yourself or anything like that. But the point of reprogramming our brain is to recognize it when it's happening. Two things I have down here that are the most important once we start recognizing these things to help us actually start to reprogram our brain. Notice it. Ask yourself out of a place of curiosity, not judgment, why am I saying that? Where did I hear that before? Why do I have that thought about myself? Right? And then be like, I don't, maybe you do really truly believe it's real, but a lot of the times it's not. Again, it's someone said something in passing and it made us feel a certain way. So, what we're going to do is we're going to become a detached observer of our own thought process. We're going to notice, but we're not going to judge. And after we notice and have like a little bit of curiosity, we're going to pivot. And then if you're really in this process, like balls deep in this process, positive reinforce immediately after that pivot, right? So like I have this whole packet of affirmations right here, so I'm going to use a couple as an example. Someone tells you that your ideas are bad. Oh God, they're right, Why would I even think that I could achieve something like that? Like, nobody's ever done that before. False. Everyone has already done something that will inspire you and that you can also do. So you're going to be like, wait, I think I did see someone on TikTok do this. So like, if they could do it, I could do it, That's the noticing and not judging and pivot part. And then you're going to positively reinforce. You know what? I believe in the person that I want to become. I believe in my ideas. I believe in this because you've done the work. More than likely, you've done some sort of work that the person who said something to you that made you feel self-doubt or insecure in any way hasn't done that same work. And I think that's the most important thing. It took me so long to get to that point because my family continuously kept locking me up and like telling everyone I was crazy because I had more information than them. And it wasn't until like the past couple years I was like, I was never crazy. I was never wrong either. I was really, really ahead of the time. I don't like how I'm like orange. I was always ahead of the time. I've been ahead of the time like 10 years in many different ways. And so I was like, okay. And it took me a long time to be like, just because you don't have the information that I have doesn't mean I'm crazy. The fuck? Right? Like, how ridiculous is that? So, get to that point. Again, we're not trying to pull other people down, but this is just to help you recognize it. I think that it's important to understand where it came from because, especially if it came from someone outside of you, then you can place stronger boundaries. Or then like I mentioned, my mother and my sister, I don't talk to them. I blocked everybody again. I was trying to talk to my mom for a minute, but I think I was just feeling guilty, and I can't do it. I'm good. No. When people tell you who they are, believe them, right? I think that's a really hard thing to do, too. And don't let people determine how you think about yourself. I'm working on this like elementary curriculum around the idea of like self-confidence or identity. Not identity. I think identity has been really co-opted within the like people against LGBTQ, or maybe it is people who are within the community as well. Either way, I don't mean it like sexual orientation identity. I mean it as in like, this is who I am, right? Like, I am this. And like little kids. So I'm working on this curriculum right now. And I think one of the reason I brought that up is because a lot of us never had that kind of support around, being encouraged to really follow through on the things that we wanted, right? They always asked us, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then they all, like, laughed at us, and we're like, that's not possible. And it was like, okay, so why'd you ask us, right? Like, we're little kids. And so this is kind of that process. It's undoing a lot of that harm, and it's years and years and years of harm. And depending upon how you let other people push you down, when we're in a lower vibration, when we don't have that self confidence because of our negative self talk, and we don't have the belief in our abilities or whatnot, because we're constantly bombarded with people not believing in us, that really, really lowers our vibration, and it makes us not believe in ourselves either. So I just want to remind you, whoever you are, whatever age you are, wherever you come from, that the ideas that you have, the passion that you have, the experiences that you have had, all have molded you into who you are now, even if it's been challenging, even if there's been struggle. I think especially because when we come out of that stronger and more confident, and more able and willing to work for what we want, I think sometimes it does take us reaching a low point to really, really put our energy into making sure we don't get back there ever again. At least I know that's true for me. I'm so self protective at this point in my life because I put up with so much shit for so long that I never deserved. I never got apologies for. People never acknowledged. I'm not doing that again. So, like, the moment I see inadequacy, that's interesting. I meant inconsistency is what I meant. But maybe you're feeling inadequate because that came through. But that's real. That's what the negative self-talk is trying to reinforce, is that feeling of inadequacy, so that we don't rise above others. Because I think that's the thing. It's like so much ego battle out here that people are like, it's like tug of wars all over the place, but like mental and emotional and like energetic, right? Like, I'm thinking of like those stupid movies, like Will Ferrell movies, or like I'm getting The Hangover. Like when those guys like go through all that stupid shit, and it's just like those movies are so hard to watch. Like, I used to think they were funny, but now it's just like, God, because they're stupid. Like, there's just this continuation of like such bullshit. It's like literally, I get a visceral reaction watching that shit now. I can't watch it anymore because it used to be funny, but I've grown too much. I think it's stupid now. Like, do something different, right? That's the definition of an insanity, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So when we have that negative self-talk because we keep letting people bring us down, or we keep believing the things that other people are wanting to put on us, project onto us, yeah, we're gonna have to go through those same cycles, and it's gonna be painful. So again, recognize the self-narration, recognize when you're putting yourself down in whatever capacity it is. It doesn't matter. I just gave some examples. Reprogram your brain to be curious about why you said that. Because I don't think we really believe those things about ourselves. Not if you're watching this video. You've gotten to a certain level of consciousness that you're like, I want to remove all the bullshit. There's a lot of sirens right now. So again, this is a lifestyle change. It's a practice. It's a mindfulness pivot. So we recognize it, we question it out of curiosity, not judgment. Once we've identified the place, and you don't even have to identify where it came from. I think because some people might have repressed, it depends on how bad the trauma is. There may be some repressed memories and other things. I'm getting that scene from Stranger Things when Dustin's like, why are you denying this curiosity journey to Mr. Clark? And so I think that's what it is. Approach this as a curiosity journey about your own mind. Again, that camera lens. Pull your scope back. I don't know. Maybe you want to study the brain. I'm getting like images of filing cabinets, and then like the images of like neural pathways, like because we're electromagnetic beings. But anyway, detached observer. You are a detached observer in your own mind. Don't let that shit have power over you. And so you're probably going to have to practice detachment in a lot of other ways, but setting boundaries will help with that. Detached doesn't equal apathetic. Detached means that we're not going to allow our emotions to, getting like an image of a cauldron, like boil over, right? We're not going to allow that to happen because we're just a detached observer. That saying, observe, not absorb. Because when we allow our emotions to take over, then we're gonna start spiraling, right? No, they were right? So it's about finding balance when there's a bad thought. It doesn't necessarily need to be bad. I even have it in quotes on my note card. Notice it, don't judge it, recognize it, and then reinforce with a positive affirmation. I'm posting daily affirmations over here. Every day for like the next year. I have that huge packet, so I'm just doing one a day. So start there. You know, I have a lot of short projects that I've done for the past year or so to also support that rewiring. But I think I don't know, I hope that's helpful. I really like the image I got of the fucking filter. I really need to turn that into a piece of art. I'm getting like cut out words to like help that happen. So like think of a watering can and like the words coming out are like you bitch or like you're fat or like bad shit, and then it's like killing the plant, right? That's us. We're the metaphoric plant, okay? Whereas if you know, and water is alive, so really work with water in this process too. I'm getting like drink it and also like bathe. Be intentional. I think intentionality is of utmost importance on a healing journey altogether. But yeah, negative self-talk is a bitch, okay? And depending on what we've been through, if we allow ourselves to keep going through it, I had to go through this process last week because I was like, why am I allowing myself to like be emotionally, like I felt like I was being carried out to the fucking middle of the ocean by like the riptides. Like I'm like, why am I feeling so ungrounded? Why am I feeling like helpless and like hopeless? That's not my energy. Like, hi, I'm like a fucking Care Bear, okay? Like that's not, I'm like, what is this? And so I had to do a lot of this work last week, and I realized that the external sources were really impacting me, which is why people got blocked. So I hope this helps. Positive reinforce, okay? Once you notice it, again, don't judge yourself because that's just going to cause more, right? Oh, God, I always do this. What the fuck? No, it's not like that. It's, oh, if I can figure out why I keep having this thought, and if I can stop having this thought, like I'm getting that TikTok trend from a couple years ago. Once I lose 20 pounds, get a house, have a bank account, pay my debt, do all this like huge laundry list of things. What? It's over for you bitches, right? I'm getting that. So instead of thinking all of these negative things, see them as like little milestones to overcome, right? And I guess if you already are very aware that you're a negative thinker or have a lot of negative thinking, or you maybe people describe you as stoic or critical or negative, just rewire, okay? Think about the good things, okay? And not in like, I understand that shit sucks right now, but shit always sucks for some people, for a lot of us, right? These systems are unsustainable, okay? When in doubt, blame the system as well, right? Like, oh, well, I saw this actress and she was anorexic, or like they have plastic surgery. They don't look good. I don't think that celebrities who are skin and bones and have had plastic surgery or, I can't really think of an example of those two combined. I watched that movie on Netflix with Nicole Kidman and some other guy, and they both had so much plastic surgery. I was like, what am I watching? I was like this the whole time. I'm like, I grew up with Nicole Kidman. Her face is not her face anymore. So remember that, always connect back to nature. Ultimately, you are a part of nature. And this system does everything it can to disconnect us from nature. And so when we refuse to let that happen, and when we, train our brains to God, I'm getting so annoyed with this shit. What the fuck? I do not like minor inconveniences. Alright, so anyway. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Have a good one. I hope this helps. Bye.